Does she slay the dragon? Is she the dragon slayer?
Oh, is it some Shrek kind of?
Hello, welcome back on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. I have my friends here again. Woo! I'm so excited to film something new with them. And yes, we will be having a new snack video coming, but until these snacks arrive at my house, I thought let's do something else. I think I've seen somewhere, I'm not sure, but I have seen one person do this with their husband, where they gave their husband some of their favorite books and their husband had to guess, just based on the cover and the title, what the book might be about. Now, my friends aren't the biggest readers. I would say pretty much no readers at all. So I thought, why not play this game with these two? I have read all these books, so I cannot guess. If this is going to be fun and we're going to enjoy filming this, we will be doing an episode 2, 3, 4, I don't know. And maybe we're going to ask some of you to send us suggestions. Do you guys want to... Wait. Müssen wir euch noch, wollt ihr noch Hallo sagen? Vielleicht ja. So, why don't we start with introducing ourselves real quick and then dive into guessing what these books are about.
Hi, I'm Jen. And I'm very happy to be here again, so yeah.
And I'm Nam, yeah. And I'm also happy to be here again.
Well, we did have a lot of fun last time, so let's hope this time is just as much fun, even though I am not offering snacks. Okay, do you want to pick a book to start with? And we're just going to put the others to the side.
Let's start from the middle.
So the book that we're starting with is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. What is it about?
Okay, there are two guys. So we're not supposed to look at the back? Okay.
I think it's a love story.
Yeah, I think too. It pretty much looks like a love story cover. Let's say New York. There are skyscrapers. So one is new to New York. And the other is probably a New Yorker.
I think they knew each other since childhood.
Are they going to live happily ever after?
No.
I say yes.
No.
I mean, the colors are so bright and it looks so happy, so I say yes. Like maybe, what if it's us who belong together? Like
Aww.
It's a very back and forth between them.
So do you want to know?
Yeah.
You're pretty much spot on.
Oh yeah, really.
It is in New York. One person lives there. One person is moving to New York. I'm not going to tell you if it's a happily ever after in case you want to read it.
But I want to know.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you after. Okay, let's take the next one. The next one is The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Beckett Chambers.
I wish this was something with aliens, but I don't think you will read something like this.
So you think I will not read something with aliens, but a romance love story?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's about philosophy and the life on Earth and in the galaxy. I'm not sure if
So
it's
aliens.
fantasy. Yeah, should be. So it might be a fantasy book, but it has a lot of philosophical texts.
Okay.
Or,
So what is the fantasy
story.
story?
Probably between human and alien contact.
I don't know. It feels like going backpacking and like sleeping under the sky.
I don't know, with galaxy covers it could be anything.
Closest would be the alien story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was.
And yes, I would read much rather an alien story than a romance. This one specifically is part of a series. It's part of the Wayfarer series. And the Wayfarer series is a series that plays in space different groups of people. I think only the first book has humans in them. This is the fourth book. And the fourth book plays on a planet. And we have a lot of different species that come together, and there's like this catastrophe, so people can't leave, pretty much on like a lockdown for a few days. And the interesting thing about this is that the different alien species are very, very different. I do think it has some sort of a philosophical approach in a way that the storyline is not it's not like the biggest story arc. It's not like the most gripping story. It's not a horror story or like alien creatures. It's more about having different types of beings that interact with each other and through dialogue start to understand each other, start to open up to each other, and start to learn from each other and about each other. And it kind of questions the mindset that we have, things that we just consider a given. Let's go with Ruin and Rising.
This gives off like a between Lord of the Rings and Hunger Games vibe. I think I said Lord of the Rings because of the typography and the colors because the Hunger Games.
All I can say is I think it's fiction or fantasy.
But I think it's about some sort of fight. I'm thinking of some kind of Mulan storyline here. Standing up from the ruins and rising and trying to get revenge or something like that.
A revenge story.
I don't think that he is dying. Actually, the character itself, he's dying metaphorically, probably, and he's going through some changes.
So is there a phoenix?
An inner phoenix, maybe.
Ooh. Have you seen the new show on Netflix, Shadow and Bone?
No.
You should. This is the third book in the Grisha trilogy. And I don't think that I have to tell people watching this what the Grisha trilogy is about. But in case that you haven't read it, pretty much the setting is, it is a fantasy book. The main character is a female. The fantasy world is more inspired by Russian. Is it mythics or like, but just like it's Russian inspired. Several different countries. There is obviously a war because it's fantasy and fantasy always seems to have a war. In this world, we have something that is called a Grisha. People who have certain types of powers, and our main character finds out that she has a power, but she has like this super rare power that nobody else has. But yeah, I think that the concept of dying metaphorically or developing into a new self could potentially work for this one. So the next one is The Bad Muslim Discount by Syed M. Masood.
Okay, so it's probably about Muslims in San Francisco.
The cover looks like modern Muslims.
I would say it's probably about Muslims who are living in America and are probably very American.
So
because
born
of
and raised in America, maybe.
What's the story? You have two Muslims born and raised in America.
Their Islam-influenced life in America.
Funny book or a serious book? Is this a real book or is this fantasy?
I would say it's a real book.
And you said it's modern America, so it plays like 2020. And what's the relationship between the two on the cover?
I would say they are brother, sister. So something
You don't
family.
think so?
I would think they are friends.
Yeah, the cover also gives me some positive vibes.
Yeah.
If it's any consolation, I've been wondering what the word discount means for this one as well. And I have read it.
Okay. Oh, so you still don't know?
I'm not 100% sure what the word discount is referring to. I mean, based on the cover, yes, this plays in San Francisco, but it plays in the 1990s. The two people on the cover were not born and raised in America, but they were coming to America in the 1990s as pretty much when they were grown. And in, well, one as a child and one was already grown, but they both were very young. And they both come from different countries even, and they come from very different situations where they have quite tough backgrounds, tough lives. The Bad Muslim Discount pretty much is talking about two people who are Muslims, but that are considered bad Muslims because they're not practicing their faith, because they have lost their faith, because they're not that religious. And they're in a community with a lot of different types of Muslims. They keep on struggling with their faith. I love this book, and I think that there's a lot of snarky, sassy dialogue that I adore. Most of the time, it feels like there's a funny, witty writing style to it while handling incredibly intense topics like abuse, forced marriage, and a lot of really, really hard topics. I think that what this book is lacking is a representation of a faithful and a strongly believing Muslim, that is not a bad person in society. If that is something that you would feel very uncomfortable with, or that you would feel is like a bad representation, I would shy away from this. But if that is something you knowing that that is the case, can go into, I absolutely recommend it, because it is a lot of fun to read. It is very educational, and it is heartbreaking at the same time. So let me give you an example of how the author is able to write funny with like very, very serious topics. And I think that I read this part on one of my live reading shows, because I am so in love with this writing style. The first time anyone ever touched my balls, so far as I can remember, was at the behest of the United States government. It turns out that one doesn't simply get on an airplane and start a new life in America. It's much more complicated than that. You have to go to a doctor who makes you take off your pants, cups your testicles in a cold clinical hand, and asks you to cough. Then you get to go on a plane and start a new life in America. So,
no.
Okay, we have an absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green.
What?
If you're able to guess this, I'm going to buy you both a snack box each. Because this cover doesn't give you anything.
Yeah. Is it again science fiction or something with, I don't know, scientists or IT specialists who make those kind of robots or AI or AI form some kind of, what's it called? Sentience?
It sounds like a Frankenstein retelling.
Yeah?
Like a scientist creating creating something that then becomes like a sentient being.
But make it modern.
Yeah. So a modern Frankenstein retelling.
Yeah.
Well, that you said it, I feel like that must be a retelling that already exists. It's so obvious. If you guys know of a Frankenstein retelling in like a sci-fi setting, please let me know.
I cannot tell anything about this. No, because...
So what is the remarkable thing? Imagine you would have to write a story, and you have the title and this image, and now you have to write a story. What is it going to be about?
I don't think that I ever gonna write something.
When I see that cover, I think of some, like the movie I, Robot.
Mm.
Or it's about a person who's absolutely remarkable and like different from the rest.
Oh.
Because, the rest looks all the same. Mm. Does the cover have anything to do with the story?
Mm-hmm. I think that I would not have been able to guess the genre by the cover.
Is it sci-fi?
I think you can, you would consider it sci-fi.
Okay. Are there extraterrestrial beings?
Maybe. I mean, the point of this is not to guess right. Well, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. So
No, I can't think of more.
This is actually really, really good. And if it's translated, I would absolutely recommend to get the audiobook if that's available. I think that you would actually enjoy this. So, so this book is about a girl who walks down the street, and she all of a sudden notices this big statue in the middle of New York that wasn't there. And she takes a video of it, uploads it on YouTube, and overnight it goes viral. One of the reasons why it goes viral as well is because all over the world in cities, all of a sudden overnight, these statues popped up. Now we have a girl who is instantly famous, and we have these weird statues that cannot be moved in all the cities. And yeah, you kind of follow her along while she's trying to figure out what's going on and handle her fame. Okay, last but not least, These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. If you know anything about literature, you would be able to guess this. But I think that you don't know anything about literature.
This looks very
Asian.
kitschy. Asian, yeah. I mean, this gives off some Mulan vibes again.
Do you just see Asian because of the author's name?
No, because of the
Chinese.
sword and the
there's a
Chinese
Chinese,
sign
yeah, okay,
and
okay.
the dragon. It's like everything.
Maybe some retelling of some ancient stories.
Like fables.
no, not fables, but like in a not modern kind of way, but like there's some person, probably a woman, because I don't know, it's pink and black and with roses.
Let me see if that is. Oh, one second.
Jetzt gibt es diese Version auch in nicht.
In blau.
Ja.
In ganz schlicht. It still looks very kitschy. Just with red roses and golden. Yeah, I would say it's about some Asian woman.
It's like some old-fashioned Chinese fighting story. Jackie Chan, but the old Jackie Chan way
With a woman.
with a woman.
I would say maybe it's not Mulan, maybe it's some, like I said, some ancient Chinese story that is maybe well known in China or like...
So I can tell you that this is a really well-known retelling.
I think the dragon is important, but I can't come up with why.
Does she slay the dragon? Is she the dragon slayer?
Oh, is it some Shrek kind of?
So what does the title mean?
Like violent delights, so...
It does not sound opposite to me.
No. I only think of food when I hear delights.
Again, I'm so sorry for not providing snacks. So if
Okay, I would say still it's like Mulan.
you say it's Mulan, and you say it's Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty in Chinese
It's
version.
not. It's not.
Neither.
No, it's not. It is a very, very famous, maybe one of the most famous stories ever. This is why I said that if you know anything about literature, you will recognize this, because this is an actual quote from the original. And the quote is, "These violent delights have violent ends." Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet in Act 2,
Oh, no.
Scene 6.
Now
I had
feel
that in
dumb.
school.
Oh,
So
you know.
it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. It plays in Singapore. So I think that there was a little bit less Asian setting than I would have liked, because you have opposing clans like in Romeo and Juliet, and that is pretty much based on that at that time Singapore being, well, not colonized, but invaded by, like, you have Russian representation, you have different kinds of representation, and there is kind of a monster horror story in there as well. I think that this book is really well written. There's some really, really good and powerful quotes in there. It wasn't necessarily for me because a lot of it was focusing on like this monster being that was invading Singapore. And I just felt like, just give me the Romeo and Juliet story.
I thought you don't like love stories.
Well, Romeo and Juliet die. It's tragic. They die. I like that. The year is 1926. Oh, it's Shanghai. It's not Singapore. Sorry. So how did you like this experience?
It's fun, but hard.
It's
very
very
hard.
hard.
Either I picked bad books or you guessed quite right. I mean,
the romance book are the easiest because they are mostly similar in their design.
So if you watching think that this is a fun concept, please hit that like button, comment what you liked about it. And also, if you are a booktuber and you want to send us a clip with a book that you think that we can never guess what it's about, please do. Then we can do some more episodes of this. So,
Sure.
All right. So thank you for watching. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button before you leave. And I hope to see you on my channel again real soon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together?
Ja.